Hello, YouTube world. Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. Now, today's take, we'll be talking about the reaction of OprahSide talking about what's wrong with the Lakers, what the hell is wrong with the Lakers in regards to them losing to the Pistons and the 76ers back-to-back nights. Now, before we get into the video, please like, subscribe, leave any comments. Please hit the notification bell also, just so you can get the newest content first. And be sure to check out some of my other videos. I think you'll find them to be interesting as well. Please leave a comment or likes, anything if you like them. And yeah, so let's just jump right into it. So I was listening to Oprah Side talk about, you know, what in the world's wrong with the Lakers, what the hell's going on with them. You're losing games that you're not supposed to lose. And I heard him say something about even making a trade, for BG, Blake Griffin, take a couple players, off of trade a couple players for the Lakers for him. Honestly, I think that's a bad take. I wouldn't take Blake Griffin because, first of all, BG is the most probably besides Derrick Rose, Blake Griffin is the most not dependable star or player that you can have in the NBA. He stays just as injured as D Rose. And, well, matter of fact, D Rose stays healthier more now than Blake Griffin. So Blake Griffin's definitely not somebody nobody I would trade for. I would keep him right where he is. A team like the Lakers don't need him anyway. So if a team does trade for Blake Griffin, I don't think it should be the Lakers. I'd rather take Andre Drummond, honestly. You know, um, to me, he's a lot better as far as like what the Lakers need. They need more size in the paint. They don't need an undersized, big man in Blake Griffin who just shoots threes and who can't get off the ground like he used to. So I think that was a waste by Oprah side to say that. I feel like Oprah side had some good points in like, just basically laughing at this situation that they lost to the Pistons. I think even without AD, they still should have beat the Pistons. I mean, really, it's you got LeBron James and you got most of the core players there, to hit certain shots, make big plays. And I think they got within 1 point of the Pistons game. Actually, I think it was like 87-88. And that was the closest I think they got, because the Pistons just, they kept hitting shots. They kept hitting, big shots, timely shots. And this was like around the fourth quarter with like 4 minutes to go, hitting timely shots back to back. And the Lakers just wasting possessions against a team like this. They're knocking down threes. They're getting in the paint. Lakers have to call a timeout. I mean, it was just pretty much a joke, what happened to the Lakers. And I'm not really sure what's going on with them in regards to just, so far these last couple of games. But I'm not going to be overly alarmed, about that because, anything can happen. And like I said, Lakers just ain't in a good rhythm right now. So it could just be that, or it could just be that they're just flailing right now. But I did say the one concern in my previous video earlier today that I feel like their biggest issue is, they don't have size in the paint. They don't have that big man in the paint that's gonna, make things better as far as defending the rim and holding down the paint and getting extra rebounds. Some that they had last year with Dwight Howard and I believe, yeah, JaVale McGee. So, without that size anymore in the paint, it's like, wow, now you lose double digits to the Pistons? I mean, what was it, 107-92? It's like a 15-point lead or a 15-point win, I should say. I mean, that's embarrassing. If you lose to a team like the Pistons on the road, you're tired, you're not feeling it. Okay, you may lose by, 5 or 10 points, something like that, but they do not have enough offensive firepower to stop you. I mean, D Rose does not play defense. Blake Griffin doesn't. I can't name half the roster on that team. So that's pretty much a waste. Now let's just talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. Now I will say that's a team I think the Lakers can lose to because, the Lakers are a good team and so is Philadelphia, excuse me. But Philadelphia, I don't even know who their main go-to guy is. And I think they lost to Philadelphia with AD. So, and Joel Embiid was killing AD. He really was. He really almost made AD look like a non-factor that game. And it's just it's just mind-boggling that these last two nights they look like their chemistry is not there. And but like I said, I'm not going to overreact or anything like that too much because it's like it's just two games and there's still 60 plus games, 65 plus games or 60 plus games to go, 50, 60 plus games to go in the season. It's just too early to really even, look at it that way. But at the same time, like I said, these two losses, especially the one against the Pistons was more questionable to me. The loss against the Philadelphia 76ers, that is a good team. And I don't think people should discredit Philadelphia because they are a good team. They're not a bad team. They have the number one record in the East for a reason. And honestly, hey, the Lakers, they're back and forth with the number one record in the West, but the West is more competition, I would say, me personally. But at the same time, it's weird how losing to a team like the Pistons by 15 points is just not acceptable. Not as a Lakers fan, not as a Lakers organization. I'm pretty sure Rob Pelinka is on the phones now trying to make a trade because they're not going to win. They're not going to win with that type of team. They're not going to go far if they're going to lag and have games like that. Because when the playoff time comes, hopefully they'll be better. But if you're losing games like that now, it can just relate over to the playoffs sometime. Sometimes, you look at a team and they look more superior than what they are. I mean, did we not learn that last year with the Clippers? In that situation. So, these losses right here, they do count. They're not as big because it is the regular season and, it's a lot more games to go and it's a lot more to look at, in regards to seeing how a team is and seeing how they're going to pan out and everything. But, yeah, is the meter for concern for the Lakers. If I had to go scale 1 to 100, or excuse me, 1 to 10, I would go probably just a 6. Because and the only reason why I say 6 is because the loss to the Pistons. It would be like at a 2 for me or a 3 if they just lost to a team like the 76ers and then the next night they lost to a team like the Milwaukee Bucks. It would be like a 2 as far as the concern or a 3. It wouldn't be a 6, 7. Anything over 5 to me is, raising the eyebrow at least. So, like I said, we'll see how the Lakers turn out. It is very early in the season, but, I mean, like I said, the loss of the Pistons really hurt me, and I really agree with OprahSide when it comes to that. It's just not a good look, for them, and they're definitely way better than that, and they definitely need to address a few things. And it's I can understand why, you know, Oprah side Clark was crying basically because the Lakers, lost. You know, I didn't say he was literally crying, but I mean, I can see why he was basically, complaining about the Lakers losing because Oprah definitely can see that, this is not supposed to happen. I mean, I mean, the fact that the Pistons are having one of the most terrible years they've probably ever had as an organization, maybe between this year and last year. They did beat the Lakers. They can hang their head on that. They beat the champs. So that's definitely kudos to them, but it's definitely not good for Lakers Nation. But hey, I have to admit, like it's a bad look to me because, like I said, I expect the Lakers to be better, and hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I know just listening to Oprah side, him sitting there saying that, it seems like to me he wants every good player on the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame him. That's your team. You definitely want to pull for him in that way. But of course that can't happen, But I didn't agree with the Blake Griffin comment that he made, but I think maybe he was just saying that just to, you know, um, have something to talk about. But I do agree with him in the fact of like what's going on here. There's nothing really to be too alarmed about, but at the same time, like if you're gonna have two losses back to back, it needs to be against a better team than the Pistons. I mean, the Pistons don't even start Derrick Rose. I mean, do you let that sink in? Derrick Rose actually comes off the bench on the Pistons. That's unreal. I'm not even going to get into that, but to lose to a team like that by 15, either the Lakers really just wasn't focused or they just really didn't even care. And I don't even know which one it is at this point. I don't even care which one it is. That was just utterly embarrassing. But like I said, they got time to redeem themselves. And hey, basically that's what OprahSide was saying. To a degree, that's what he was saying. In regards to the situation of what's going on with the Lakers. But what the hell is going on, losing to the Pistons by 15? So now, I will say, Oprah side, I think he did say the Lakers were in first place still. He's wrong about that. They're in third place in the Western Conference right now. So Oprah side, he might have had a little mishap on that one, but at the same time, like I said, it's nothing to really be too concerned about. We'll see how they end up in the future going on on the season, and we'll see how it goes. And hopefully, they won't have losses like this anymore. But that's it. That's all. Please, if you like the video, leave any comments. Do the same with my other videos if you check them out. And hey, till next time.